welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Whipple, and Steve, can we talk Easter?
Always.
All
I'm
right.
never opposed to talking Easter.
Okay, well, let's start out by saying that Cheeseburger Babies Foundation, which is the charitable arm of Red Onion Burgers, our sponsor, is hosting the annual Easter egg hunt at Evergreen Playfields on the day before Easter, March 31st. Starts at 10 a.m. Always a good time.
Oh, look at that.
Jinx.
Are we going to keep rolling with that? Why not?
I guess we are. We've been working together far too long.
Yeah, right. We're finishing each other's sentences, or at least
Scary.
talking in unison. Why not?
Scary stuff. So remember to catch that. It is a good time. And now we're going to talk about spring sports, Easter, and what are we going first?
I think we'll go soccer first.
Okay.
Soccer season is underway, and the Meadowdale Mavericks, a team that we haven't had much to talk about over the last few years, they only won 4 games over the last 2 seasons combined. Only won 1 game last year. Off to a much better start so far this season. They've won 3, lost 2, tied 1, and then a huge 3-2 victory over Mount Lake Terrace this weekend. So we thought we'd bring in a few of the Mavs senior players and talk to them about the early success of the season and what's to come for the Mavericks this spring. Break up the Meadowdale Mavericks soccer team. Squad that won 4 games, lost 26, and tied 5 over the last 2 years. It's a different era right now, though. This team is a lot better this year. Through 6 matches this year, 3 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. And with us right now, 3 of the members from that team, 3 seniors. I'm going to have you guys go around, introduce yourselves, and what position you play.
My name is Javier, and I play right back.
My name is Ebrima, and I play holding midfield.
My name is Dominic, and I play center back.
Guys, you heard those numbers a second ago. You won 4 games over the course of the last 2 years. You're already 3-2-1 this year. Javier, for a guy who's played on this team for a few years now, I've got to think that's exciting to and a lot more fun, right, when you're winning games.
Oh, it definitely is. It's a lot more exciting to really see the energy on the team when just a 1 win can make a huge difference for us. And really building up on that. And
a big win over the weekend. You guys knocked off Mount Lake Terrace 3-2. Ebrima, really big win. You guys were down 2-1 going into the final 12 minutes, and you come back and get a victory. How exciting was it to get the win this weekend?
It feels good compared to last year that we had 1 win over the season, and this year that our goal is to make it through the playoff, hopefully to state.
One win over the entire season last year. 1 win, 13 losses, and 2 ties. And Dominic, it looked like you might be in for another loss yesterday. You were down 2-1 at halftime. Mm-hmm. Mount Lake Terrace, a team that's put up a lot of goals this year. What was the message at halftime? What did you guys talk about as a team, and what did Coach Nelson and the rest of the staff talk to you guys about?
Well, I don't really think we were ever out of the game at all. There was the 2 own goals at the beginning of the game. We were just kind of throwing it all off. But at halftime, we were just trying to keep what we were doing at the end of the half going. And then I think once we got in the beginning of that second half, we just clicked it on.
And so you're down 2-1, and then all of a sudden, Mamoudou, your brother, steps up. He's only a sophomore, and he scores 2 goals in the final 12 minutes. Talk about the goal that tied it up ultimately. Do any of you have any recollection of that goal in particular?
I kind of created a ball because I passed it to, passed it to someone, but I can't remember who I passed it the ball to, and then he passed it to Mamadou. So he just kind of rolled the ball through the sideline, and then, that's what everything happened.
He did his work.
And
that's what we say.
Mm-hmm.
Mama does his work.
And got the game tied at that point. And I've got to think, does the mindset change, Javier, at that point when it's 2-2 as opposed to 2-1?
It definitely does. The instant the goal goes in, everyone's mindset and attitude just changes. It's like, we're back in this. We're going to win. That's what you think right after you score. And so from there, we knew we had little time. We had to really, like Dominic said, click it on, and just pressure the entire time. And which we could see, towards the end they were panicking, and that's when we knew we had them.
Mm-hmm. And Dominic, that last goal goes in with I think under 2 minutes to go. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that moment and what that was like for you guys.
It was crazy. I don't remember beating Terrace in the last couple of years, so it's a big moment.
Hey, Brahma, do you remember much about that goal, the last one?
Yeah, I did remember a lot. Because I see, the fans, everyone is jumping around, happy that we
Yeah, I saw some of the bench players coming off and going to celebrate.
Big moment there at that point in time. So again, that victory. And Ebrima, we're going to have you do us a favor, because for your brother's 2 goals in the final 12 minutes, Mamoudou is going to be our Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week. Again, 2 goals in the final 11 minutes of a match in which ends up being the difference of the game. So we'll have you give that to your brother, and we'll get a picture with him later with that.
Thank you.
Again, when you get back to the point that this team struggled so much over the last 2 years, and to get 3 victories early in the season like this, Dom, how much of a confidence builder is this moving forward?
I think it's a big confidence builder, especially like I said, because we didn't beat Terrace at all last year, because we play them twice every season, so we lost them twice, and then they weren't close games. You can say either way. So I think it was a good confidence builder moving into this next couple of weeks where we play a lot of tough opponents, including Woodway and Linwood.
And Javier, for you, having been around those teams in the past, does the attitude just feel different? Does it feel like there's a little more of is everybody a little more up in their step? I mean, is the attitude more positive?
I feel like going back to our team chemistry this year, we can really see more of the connections we have as a team, and we saw it with our first game. My first game of the season was against Mariner, and we ended up winning that game. We clearly saw what we could do this year, and so I guess it just puts a smile on everyone's faces, and actually we get to enjoy the game.
So I'm going to have you guys talk about your teammates in a minute, the rest of your team, I should say. But first, I'm going to hear a little bit more about yourselves. Dominic, I'm going to have you start off by telling me a little bit about Ebrima and what he's meant to this team. I know he came over from Edmonds-Woodway, so this is your second year playing with him. Tell me a little bit about him as a teammate and as a player.
Well, last year he came over and he came over at the beginning of the season, and not many of us knew what he could do or anything like that. But then once he started playing for us, it was we had something, and we've just started using him. He's one of our key players.
What are one or two things that he does well on the field?
He's really good at distributing the ball, and just kind of connecting our defense to our attacking third and with the forwards and all that.
Very good. Ebrima, tell me something about Javier. What kind of a teammate is he?
He's a mentor, basically. On the bench, he's a mentor. Yelling talking to everyone to step up at your game, 1-2 touches, and then distributing, under attacking, helping the midfield and the defense.
He's kind of a team leader then.
Yeah, he's a team leader.
Okay, and then Javier, tell me a little bit about Dom.
What he really does bring to the team is he's a wall in the back. He's we call him demigod because of his physique and the way he plays. It's really hard to get through him. So that really helps me and EB really connect to attack and build up from there because we know Dominic has us in the back.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the rest of your team. I think let's try this. Dom, I'm going to have you tell me a little bit about the midfield. Who do we have playing in the midfield besides this guy right here?
Our midfield's actually really packed. We got a lot of guys. We have on the outsides. On the last game, we started with Stevie and Arjun on the outsides. But Arjun goes both ways. He can play in the middle. He's a really good ball controller, and he can shoot from depth. He's pretty good. He's just a sophomore. Same with Stevie. They're pretty young, and as well as Cole, our other captain. He's been a good player for us the last couple of years.
And that's Cole Jackson? Okay.
Yeah. And then, like I said, we have a lot of players. We got Alejandro, we got Alex, we got Axel. Our midfield's pretty stacked.
So not a shortage of midfielders at all?
No, for sure not, especially when we're getting tired towards the end of the game.
Okay. Ebrima, tell me a little bit about the forwards. Who are we looking at up front?
Oh, we have Raul, we have Riva, and then we have my little brother who scored 2 goals yesterday. Like he just said, forward too is that we could rotate every player. Stevie could play forward, but Arjun could play forward. So it's something that I look forward. Since that we have next year too, they're just sophomores and then juniors. So basically, we have 6 seniors leaving. So that's something that they could pick up for next year too.
So Meadowdale doesn't have to worry about scoring goals for the next couple of years anyway.
They don't have to worry about scoring goals for next year too. So
how about preventing goals, Javier? Tell me a little bit about the defense. Let's maybe start off with the goalkeeper.
Oh, with our goalkeeper, our starting goalkeeper is Kyle Schalk. He's one of our younger players, and he has a lot of potential. You can see he's a good player. He just really needs to come out and become a leader in the back. We can sort of see it comes out certain times in the games, and we really push him to do that because if he comes up a step leader, he's one of our top players, I could say.
And only a sophomore, right?
Yeah, he's only a sophomore.
And now what about the rest of the defensive line?
The rest of our line, I feel we have good connection as a back four. We really understand what each other can do, and they kind of adjust to the way that I play. I kind of leave them alone a lot. So they do a good job of just staying more of like a 3 in the back and letting us play our game.
Is this a close-knit group, Dom? Is it a
Yeah.
group that gets along with
back
each other
four?
pretty well?
Yeah.
Just the team in general.
The
Does
team
the
in
team do a
general.
lot
Oh
of,
yeah, we've built our team chemistry a lot over the years.
What kind of activities does the team do together when they're not playing soccer?
We love eating. We are eating all the time. That's all we do. We do a lot of like team beach runs and just little things to just bring the team closer together.
And I guess when you're playing soccer and you're young, you can get away with eating, right? So it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
Do we have favorite foods or places that we like to go, or as a team, or is it kind of everybody for themselves type of a thing?
Red Robin.
We said we go to Red Robin a lot.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
where we go. For breakfast, probably IHOP. It's just IHOP and Red Robin all the time.
Very nice. How about the coaches? Tell me a little bit about. Maybe we'll start with Coach Nelson. Ebrima, tell me a little bit about what it's like to play for Coach.
Coach Nelson. Huh. I mean, he's a good coach, compared to the coaches that I played with back in Edmonds-Woodway. So he's just like a father figure to me, because like he's always talking to me, like on the bench, like you gotta do this, you gotta do this. But good thing about him, he doesn't yell at me all the time. So I would say like he's a nice coach. So.
Nice coaches are good, right? You enjoy playing for those. Javier, tell me a little bit about Coach Nelson. What do you enjoy about him?
About Coach Nelson, he's a younger coach, and I feel like that's kind of like it's better for us, so he can really connect to us. Like I said, we have a young team, and Nelson really connects and brings more of like that energy and attitude. And then with Coach Sean, he brings more of the experience side. So mixing that two together really feel like is making a difference this year.
And Coach Sean is Sean Griffin. Dom,
Yeah.
you mentioned before the cameras were rolling. You get along with Coach Sean pretty well, right?
Yeah, I've known him. I just known him since freshman year. Like he helps out with the, just like in preseason stuff like that. He would help out with the team in like off-season practices and stuff like that. Because he hasn't really been a coach since a while back, but this year he came to the team, which was it. So it was pretty exciting.
And then we've got Chris Tully Doyle, right? Or is it CT? Is that what we call him?
TD.
TD. Okay. Tell me a little bit about. Sorry, Chris. Tell me about TD. What's it like playing for him? What's he been like for you guys?
He's more of like a kind of on like Nelson said, where it's like he does connect to us, and he's more of like the comedic one out of the group, and so he's always just like cracking jokes with us and like just having fun.
So now that we've heard about the coaches a little bit, what exactly are the team goals? I know, Ebrima, you mentioned early in the show that you want to get to the playoffs and go to state and all of that. A team that only won 4 matches over the last 2 years. Did you guys put a number on the season before the year winning started, or is it mainly get to districts first and then kind of go from there? Javier, do you have any feelings about that?
Well, our first goal, it was kind of like a little joke that we had, was get 2 wins. And
Double last year's
yeah.
total, right?
And then from there, we just we jumped straight to making it to the playoffs. Yes, we're just aiming big, see if we can get there.
And we should mention you're 2 games into your regular season play as far as the conference record. You've got 1 win and 1 tie, no losses. Unfortunately, the Mount Lake Terrace match didn't count as a conference game since you play them again later on in the season. But looking at the schedule here, that's a pretty interesting one coming up on Tuesday, guys. Any sport, anytime Meadowdale and Edmonds-Woodway go head-to-head, it's always big, and I've got to think soccer's no different. 7:30 Tuesday night at Edmonds Stadium. Dom, tell me a little bit about the Warriors and the Mavericks and what that means to you guys.
Over the years, just from freshman year to now, it's been a big rivalry. I don't think I remembered, like, even when I was on JV, I don't think I've ever beaten Woodway, so it'd be really exciting to change that this year.
In Ebrima, for you, it's a little different. You're used to being on the other side of the rivalry. Do you still have friends that play for the Warriors?
Yeah, I still do have friends, like a couple friends, and I have some enemies, friends.
Is it a frenemy matchup, Javier? I mean, I've got to think some of these guys you've been playing against since you guys were little kids, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of players on the team that they kind of grew up playing with these, so it's more of like a frenemy kind of aspect where it's like we do a lot of talking, but like in the end, some of them actually are true friends. But
There we go.
it's an exciting matchup.
It kind of like I said, Edmonds-Woodway, Meadowdale. It's always a big rivalry. That's all I'll say about that. Tuesday night, 7:30, and then Friday night you've got another home match against Linwood, and then next Monday on April 2nd you have another home match against Marysville-Pilchuck. So a lot of Edmonds Stadium matchups coming up. Do you guys enjoy playing under the lights at Edmonds Stadium? Is that kind
We
of a
do.
favorite?
Yeah.
We do. It's like, especially when it's like a home game, it's like, it's our turf. It gives us more of like, a more boost of energy when it's like really on our home turf in front of our fans.
You feel the advantage there.
Yeah.
Very good. And then as far as future goals, you're all three seniors. Are we starting to think about school a little bit? Dom, for you, I know you're a sports medicine kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your future ambitions and what you want to do.
Well, I've been helping Robbie out with all the different sports over the past seasons with fall and winter and all that. So I was there for a lot of the basketball scene. I think I was thinking about trying to build on that in college and maybe studying kinesiology and sports science.
And any ideas where you want to go yet, or is that to be determined?
I'm either going to go to Eastern Washington or Western Washington University.
And Ebrima, for you, are you looking to play soccer into the future, or?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to play for either Edmonds Community College, so online, or Wenatchee, and I'm trying to study for computer science.
Computer science, very good. And it sounds like you're going to try to stay in state then anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you, Javier, I understand you already know where you're going next year.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to Seattle Pacific, and I'm going to study criminal justice. I'm majoring in criminal justice and minor in business. And I don't really plan on playing soccer after high school.
You're going to have your hands full doing all that anyway.
Yeah.
And Dom, I should ask, so when you're doing the sports medicine thing, when these guys have injuries out on the field, do they immediately turn to you if Robbie's not around, the trainer's not around to help them out, or are you?
Sometimes it depends.
It takes
on the
my
athletes.
ankles a lot.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to have a teammate that's multifaceted and can do a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So again, a lot of high expectations for these guys, not only on the field but off the field as well, and rightfully so. Again, congratulations on a great start to your season, and hopefully we'll see the Meadowdale Mavericks' success continue all the way into April, and who knows, perhaps we're talking about them late into postseason play. It would be a nice change. So,
Okay.
guys, best of luck to you, and have a great season.
All right,
Right,
thank you.
thank you.
Well, the Edmonds-Woodway and Meadowdale match should be a good one.
It should be a really good one. Edmonds-Woodway so far this year is 4-1, 2-0 in league play, and Meadowdale also undefeated in league play. So really, first place on the line, but sometimes the standings don't even matter when Edmonds-Woodway and Meadowdale get together.
No.
It's all about the rivalry and bragging rights of the area, so to speak.
Yeah, should be fun. Okay, and we're going to talk about golf next.
We are going to talk golf, and the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors girls golf team, always strong. They've won the Wesco South title each of the last 3 years, poised to make another run at a fourth consecutive title, and maybe even beyond that. They've got district championship aspirations. So we brought a couple of the girl golfers in to talk about the Warriors and what their expectations are for the upcoming season. It's March. It's still cold outside. We've had hail, a little bit of snow, and yet we're still already talking golf. And with us right now, two of the members from the Edmonds-Woodway golf team. We have junior Brianna Schalk and senior Frances Monahan. Ladies, first of all, thank you for coming in. And Brianna, I'm just going to start off by asking you, playing golf when it's sleet and snow and rain out, so what is it like to play golf this time of year in the Pacific Northwest?
It's cold. It's very cold and it's challenging. We played a match the other day when the wind was just insane and our ball just was going all over the place, but it's fun. It's still fun.
Frances, what about you? I know you tend to shoot low scores. Do you like the challenge? I mean, obviously, maybe it's not something you'd want to do all year round, but every once in a while, a game in the rain, is it something you look forward to?
Yeah, actually, for some reason, I do pretty good in the rain. Yeah, it's a good strength to have.
And so hopefully they won't be doing that all spring long, as we hope the weather gets a little bit better. Off to a nice start so far this year. I know you got a nice victory over Shorewood last week and doing a good job at the Woodby Shootout recently. How are we feeling about the team right now, Brianna? I know it's a smaller team, right? But
Yeah, it's a small team, but I'm feeling pretty good about it this year. We hope to go undefeated again in league matches. We did last year, and that'd be pretty cool if we could do that again.
And Frances, for this team, I know you've didn't quite win districts last year as a team, but certainly you've got, a 3-year streak of winning the Wesco South Division. Team goals this year, do we have any, and what are we hoping to accomplish as a team?
Like Brianna said, we want to go undefeated in league matches, and we also want to win districts, so all 6 of us can go to state.
There we go. That's not a bad goal to have at all. Your backgrounds in golf. Both of you have been playing since you were fairly small.
Yeah.
And Brianna, I'll ask you first. Did I understand this correctly? You've been playing since you were 3 years old?
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 3 years old. My dad would take me to lessons at Harbor Point, and we would just hit balls and just have fun.
Was Dad looking for a golf partner eventually? I mean, 3 years old is pretty
Yeah.
small.
I mean, my sister was also golfing at the same time, so I just kind of did whatever she did. So she was golfing when she was really young too, and then I would go out with her.
It's a little easier to roll with
Yeah.
it when there's big sister doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then, Francis, I understand you get your first set of golf clubs when you were in kindergarten?
Yeah, when I graduated.
And then what was that like? Your parents are both of the golfers then, I take it? Or
No, just my dad.
okay, so the same situation as you,
Yeah.
Brianna. So Dad got you a set of golf clubs early and was ready for you to play then, it sounds
Yeah.
like. Do you have any recollection of playing from back in those days? And is it something you enjoyed right away?
Yeah, we would hit plastic golf balls and foam golf balls over the house back and forth to each other. And I found that really fun. Then I wanted to go the next level and hit up the course.
And fun story when we were talking when the camera wasn't rolling. I just assumed obviously that meant you've got a family full of golfers, but your 2 younger siblings, not fans, right?
No.
Does that surprise you? Do they ever come out and watch you, or do they dabble a little bit in the sport, or no?
I mean, they support me and stuff, but they don't come and watch or anything.
They're gonna let you be the golfer in the
Yeah.
house, huh? Brianna, what about you? You told me Mom doesn't like golf.
No, my mom is actually not a fan of golf at all, but I mean, she supports me. She likes whatever I do, so she's for it.
I think the line you used earlier with me was she hates golf, but she loves you.
Yes.
So does Mom come out and watch it all, or no?
I don't let her because I don't really like people watching me. It stresses me out, and then I don't really play that well. But if I let her, she would. Yeah.
Francis, what about you? Do you enjoy? Obviously, we talk to a lot of athletes on here that are football and basketball players, and events where you get large crowds and they come out and watch. Golf is a little bit different in that regard. Do you like having an audience when you're golfing, or would you rather just be kind of you and the trees and to be at one and just leave you alone in that regard?
Yeah, I do, but having audience is good practice for like future golf, and I enjoy my dad being there watching because he's the reason why I'm here where I am now.
Being supportive and having good coaches is always key. Brianna, I understand you have an interesting connection with one of the Edmonds-Woodway
I
Hall
do.
of Famers.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about who's been coaching you along the way.
Coach Art Snowy has been coaching me since I was 3 years old. He was my mom's math teacher, so then we had like kind of like that connection, and then we just started seeing him, and he's been coaching me since now, pretty much.
I think we all tend to think of the name Snowy and we think of basketball, baseball,
Yeah.
football, and golf as well, I guess, huh?
Yeah, he's made of many talents, I guess.
I can see why. It definitely does a little bit of everything. And then
Yeah.
Francis, I know for you, you're not necessarily only playing at the school. You play away from school as well, right? Who's coaching you when you're not at school?
His name is Dave Boyvin. He's down at Jackson Park in Seattle, and I've gotten lessons from him for about a year now. And he helped me change my swing over the summer, and that's why I'm doing better now because of
Okay.
him.
And you were already doing pretty well. You finished tied for 30th at state last year, and I know lofty goals this year. Looking like you might be one of the top golfers, certainly in this area. I'm going to have the two of you talk about each other for a minute and tell me a little bit about what each of your team members here is like as not only a golfer but as a teammate. And Brianna, maybe I'll start off with you. Tell me a little bit about Francis and what it's like to watch her play golf.
It's great. I love watching Frances play golf. It's just, she's such an inspiration for the team, and she's always putting up low scores for us too, and just having fun with it too. Like at the range, sometimes we'll do like the Happy Gilmore shot, you know, the infamous Happy Gilmore. But she's actually really good at it.
Okay.
A little hidden talent of Frances. But yeah, she's a great golfer and great for the team.
Is the Happy Gilmore shot something you've worked on for quite a while?
No, I just no.
Picked
it's
it up
not.
and natural with it. And I understand you won a long drive contest recently at a tournament, is
Yeah,
that
it
correct?
would be. Yeah, I did.
So and there were 15, 20 schools there, so to win that's a big deal. How long of a drive was it?
It was 234 yards.
Wow, very impressive. Tell me a little bit about Brianna.
Brianna, she's so funny. When everyone's feeling down and stuff, she knows how to put a smile on everybody's face. She's super funny, and she's good too. She's very consistent with her shots.
And only a junior too. I know when I asked Coach Caldwell for some information on you guys, mentioned that you're definitely a team leader, and to be able to be in that role as a junior, that's not always an easy task, is it? What's it been like for you?
I mean, it's a little hard. It's just a lot to keep up with about just like ordering new gear and stuff like that. But I like the challenge, and my sister was captain the past 2 years on the golf team, so I've just kind of been following what she's been doing, and it's really helpful.
And your sister was Catherine, correct?
Yeah, Catherine.
So what has that been like? Because obviously last year you're kind of the little sister, and now you've got that new role. Is it something you've enjoyed doing?
Yeah, it's actually, I really like it. It's funny, like the boys coach, he always calls me just Little Schalk because Catherine's always been the other Schalk, but he finally learned my name this year, so that's cool.
Step in the right direction.
Yeah.
There's 7 golfers on the team, is that correct? Tell me a little bit about who the other golfers are and what they mean to this team.
I'm going to start with Esther.
Esther, she's a good friend of mine. She's a crack up too. She's a good person. She takes lessons with me, with Dave as well. So we like to go together and get lessons from him.
Okay, and who else do we have on the team?
We've got Jordan, who's also a really good golfer. She's putting up some low scores too and just getting better over time. It's good to see. That's what we like to see.
Tatum, she's really funny too. She's a cheerleader. She varsity last year.
She actually sprained her ankle last year at the beginning of the season, so she was out for almost the whole season.
Oh, wow, okay.
But to see her come out this year, it was inspiring.
Okay, good. So we've got Esther, Jordan, and Tatum. Who else do we have?
We've got Cameron, who's also a cheerleader at Edmonds-Woodway, and she's just so fun. She makes golf practice fun, even when it's snowing or pouring down rain. It's just fun to play with her, and yeah.
And who's our final golfer then?
Rachel. She's actually new to the team this year. She was playing on Shorecrest last year, and she transferred to Edmonds-Woodway this year, and she's just a great golfer too. Her dad is Joe Putz, he was a golf coach at Harbor Point for a while, and
We know the Putz name in the golfing community.
yeah.
Here, definitely. Is it a team that gets along well together? What kind of, do we do bonding experiences, or how is the team doing in regards to that?
Yeah, Cameron has a house in Cleellum, and so we go over to our house, and then we play Suncadia for a weekend. And
Very
hang
good.
out.
Well, that leads into one of my next questions. I always like to ask the golfers, do you have a favorite course? Or obviously playing at Suncadia has got to be pretty nice. Is that a favorite? Or if not, maybe where one or two other places you like playing?
I love Suncadia. I also love Willow's Run. I love the course. It's beautiful, and I always do good there.
Okay. And what about you, Brianna?
Suncadia is a really nice course too, but around this area, I really like playing at Harbor Point. It's kind of hard, but it's a really beautiful course.
So you like a good challenge, it sounds
Yeah.
like. Okay. So as far as personal goals this year, and Francis, maybe I'll start with you. We already talked about how you finished tied for 30th last year in state. Obviously playing extremely well right now. What are the goals this year? Do you have a kind of a number as far as where you want to? Maybe it's a golf score you want at state, or maybe it's a place you want to finish. Or
Yeah, I'd love to place in top 15 and shoot somewhere like 80s or low 80s, and yeah.
we mentioned, or you mentioned to me off air, you had a pretty good weekend at Willow's Run last week, right?
Yeah.
What did you shoot there?
I shot 92 the first day and then 77 the next day.
So 77 will get that done.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that 92 and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And Brianna, for you, I know top 17, I think, go to state.
Yeah.
You finished 17th at districts
Yep.
last year, so you just made
I
it
was
in.
just there, yeah.
What's the goal for you this year?
I definitely want to place better than I did last year at districts, so that I can go to state again. But goal overall is just top 15. I want to get in that area.
Okay, you're on your way there right now. We also wanted to mention too that Francis, for your efforts last week, I know against Shorewood, you shot a 36.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive score there. You were the medalist there. So for that, we're going to give you our Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week. And what was it like to watch her shoot the 36? You and I were talking beforehand, Brianna. You were pretty impressed with that, weren't you?
I was very impressed. It's really hard to shoot in the 30s, let alone 36. So, I mean, we were all just congratulating Francis all day, all night.
Did you kind of know early on that do you feel like you get into kind of a rhythm or a zone when you're playing that good at golf? Do you kind of know it's?
Yeah, I definitely like to kind of go in my own world and just ignore everybody else around me.
And you kind of know you have it that day.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing to do at all. As far as when you're not playing golf, Brianna, you're only a junior, so I'm
Yeah.
guessing Have we given much thought to the future yet, or do you still have a year to go before you want to even get into that?
I'm still looking, but unsure.
You've got some time.
Yeah.
Francis, you've got a pretty clear path lined up for you. You already know where you're going and what you want to do. Tell me a little bit about Skagit Valley Community College and what you're planning on doing there.
So they have a 2-year firefighting program, and it prepares you to become a real-world firefighter, and that's what I really want to do.
And what is it about firefighting that intrigues you?
I've always had the passion to help people, and then recently firefighting's just that's what I want to do.
You've got a golf program there too. I've got to think you're going to be playing golf there as well.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so a lot of golf in their future, obviously a lot of schoolwork as well, and we're hoping for more success, right? The four-peat, if you will, Edmonds-Woodway, West Coast South champs the last 3 years, and perhaps we'll add a district championship to that too. Should point out, Thursday you guys are at home at the Nile Country Club right down the street here against Shorecrest, and then you've got 2.5 weeks off. And
Yeah.
Brianna, that wasn't necessarily planned, was it, the 2.5 weeks?
No, not exactly. We had spring break for the first week of April, and then the week after we were supposed to have a match with Mount Lake Terrace, but unfortunately they don't have a team this year, so we just get a nice long break from matches and just to get our head in the game for Burlington.
Is that a good thing, having that much time off, Francis, or how do you try to fill some of that time? Obviously, is there a chance that maybe the team will go out to a golf course and just shoot around and kind of break away from the practice routine, if you will?
Yeah, we might all go to the range just to kind of stay in the swing of things.
No pun intended, or pun intended. So until then, though, again, a big match coming up against Shorecrest on Thursday, and then we get right back into play. Edmonds School District Tournament on Friday, April 27th, and then in May, we get down to district championships and hopefully the state championships over in Spokane for both of you, May 22nd, May 23rd. A lot going on over the next month or so. It should be a lot of fun.
Very busy.
I can imagine. Brianna, Francis, thank you both very much for coming in, and best of luck this year.
Thank you.
Well, listening to those girls talk about golf, that was the only sport I tried in high school. You may not have known that about
I
me.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Did you wait until high school to pick it up?
No, I was one of those children of a golfing family, and they had me out there early in my career. But there was a problem. I played in Ellensburg, and when you hit a golf ball in Ellensburg, it tends to blow back at you because the wind blows about 70 miles an hour there.
I thought you were going to talk cow pastures or
No,
horses or anything.
well,
Okay.
some of that too,
Yeah.
but no, it was too frustrating, so I did not continue.
It's a frustrating sport, and fortunately for those two young ladies that were in here, they both started very early, so they got to jump on the competition, so to
Yes,
speak.
they did.
I can't even imagine playing golf at the age of 3, but
No.
and it is kind of fun to listen to how it wasn't as though it was a two-parent thing either. Both of which had their dads kind of pushing them, and moms not so much into the sport.
Yeah,
So
yeah, very interesting. Okay, well, what else do we need to talk about today?
we'll talk a little bit of baseball. Their season is underway right now. Mount Lake Terrace continues to play on fire right now. They are 4-1 on their season. Meadowdale also 2-1 thus far, so nice job from the Mavericks and the Hawks. Softball, Meadowdale off to a 2-0 start in league play. And then we had a big matchup this week between Edmonds-Woodway and Mount Lake Terrace, a matchup that a lot of folks were waiting for, and it did not disappoint. 7 innings wasn't enough. They needed extra innings. Heidi Davis for Edmonds-Woodway hitting a 2-out, 2-run single in the top of the 8th inning. That ends up being the difference, and Edmonds-Woodway defeats Mount Lake Terrace 7-5 this week.
Wow.
And hey, while we're mentioning softball, how about another Emma Helms shout out, huh? The pride of Meadowdale hit her first college home run over the weekend for the University of Washington. I have a feeling that won't be Emma's last home run either, as she continues to play on that team that has lofty goals of maybe winning a national championship this year. And let's keep throwing out shout-outs, why not? Michaela Pivick, Linwood High School. She is in the starting lineup for the Oregon State Beavers, and the women's basketball team there into the Elite Eight. One victory away from potentially playing in the NCAA Final Four. So a lot of big things happening from our local athletes, both at the high school level and at the college level. And we haven't even started talking track yet, so we're going to get into that in the next couple weeks. But a lot going on this spring, and just a fun time to follow sports in the area.
Yeah, and of course, both of those mentions are people that we've had on the show. So
Multiple times for each one, yeah.
Yeah, great people too. And we will be taking Easter weekend off, and because you've got an adventure that you're going on.
Yep, we're both going to be away next weekend, or not able to do the show, so we're going to be off for a couple weeks. But that just means we'll have twice as much to talk about afterwards, right?
Yeah, we will. Okay, so have a great couple weeks, and we'll see you then. And do not forget the Easter hunt in Mount Lake Terrace. there at Evergreen Playfield on March 31st. Have a great week.
Enjoy.